Welcome to today's broadcast between the Metro State Roadrunners and the South Dakota Mines Hard Rockers. Here for club baseball, game two of the day. Metro State won the first game 10-0 through 5 innings, and we're about ready to get started here in the top of the first inning with the Hard Rockers having the center fielder Hayden Durker lead off for them. So this is South Dakota's first season having a team here in the NCBA. A lot of inexperience and just guys trying to form a team for the first time. And here's the first pitch from Ramirez, outside, ball one. The Roadrunners game one had a complete game shutout from starter and now center fielder Isaiah Carrillo. Here's second pitch, swung on and missed by Durker. 1-1 count as the fastball up and in, he wasn't able to make any contact with. Ramirez is quick, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. 1-2 now on the quick pitch. Ramirez just really gets set fast and gets going. That's his MO for the day. And here's the pitch again. Strike three. Called. First out, first strikeout of the game for Noel Ramirez. And here's what the defense is looking like for the runners behind him. Outfield left to right, we got Brendan DeWise, Isaiah Carrillo, and Jacob Armbrust. Infield from third to first, we got Elias Gonzalez and Kyle Tolley on the left side, third and short respectively. First pitch to the second batter, Devin Odley is outside, ball one. And the right side of the infield, we got Elias Soto and Jesus Carrillo. Second pitch is a breaker for a strike. 1-1 count now on the number 2 hole shortstop for the Hard Rockers. Here's the pitch again, another quick pitch, outside, 2-1. Elias Soto is playing second base and Jesus Carrillo is playing first, with the battery being Noel Ramirez on the mound and Spencer Middleman behind the plate. Here's the pitch again. Outside corner, just misses. 3-1 count now. That was a good pitch, just a little outside though. Umpire didn't like it. 3-1 count. It's got to battle back here now. Here's another pitch. Outside, ball 4. After striking out the first batter, Ramirez walks the second, putting the guy on first, and that brings up the third baseman, Isaiah Garcia, for the Hard Rockers. Infield getting situated, ready to turn 2 or figure out where the ball's going. Ramirez checks the runner at first, pauses, swing and a miss, strike 1 on the fastball. 0-1 count. Third base coach giving signs to the runner and hitter. And a pick off to first, and he's safe over there at first base. As he slid in, and there was no tag made. Not even an attempt on a tag. Noel Ramirez gets set. And a foul ball down the third baseline as he was ready for that up and in fastball. Got around on it, but not around enough as it went foul. Now a 1-2 count. Garcia gets set here in the box. Noel Ramirez checks the runner at first. And a foul ball, barely just over the third base bag into foul territory. So we're getting situated, ready for ball to get back. Oh, Ramirez has a fresh ball. Runner gets a sign at first or gets set. And a pickoff over to first base. No tag made as he slid back as the ball was getting there. Still a 1-2 count on the hitter Garcia. Here's the pitch and a curveball up and in. 2-2 count now. Noel Ramirez didn't get around on that one. And Spencer Middleman, the catcher, calls time as the field umpire's just getting here. Gonna allow him to get situated, know the whole situation on what's going on. So he takes his leisure stroll out to his position behind the pitcher's mound. Since there's a runner on first, that is standard umpire position in this situation. So we'll see what happens here as we get back and ready to go here on the 2-2 count from Ramirez to Garcia. Oh, checks the runner at first. Pitches. It skips away and the runner's going. And Middleman makes the throw, and he's safe in at second as it pulls Elias Soto off the bag. Elian Soto, my bad. Either way, 3-2 count, I believe, now on the hitter Garcia. And the runner now on second base on the pitch that got away from the catcher Middleman. 2-2 count, my bad. I lost track of that one. Pitch and foul ball. Out of play, into the street. He's just jamming him inside on that. And Garcia is just fighting him off inside. Still, 2-2 count, though, here to the three-hole hitter. Ramirez checks the runner at second. Winds. Pop up. Soto and Armbrust converging, and it's going to be Elian Soto making the grab as Jacob Armbrust slid right underneath him. Either way, 2 outs on the play by Soto. The runner remains at second base. 2 outs now. And the 4-hole, Leif Thorson coming up to bat. Thorson was the pitcher in Game 1 in that loss for the Hard Rockers, and now he's playing first base for Game 2. He's a big guy. I'd say about 6'3", 6'4" on that lanky frame. Let's see what he can do here against the 5'7" Ramirez. First pitch and a curveball that just falls in there for a strike. Noel Ramirez really just has that good slow-breaking curveball that just falls into the zone. Not a lot of hitters I've seen have been able to react to it, his few appearances on the season. And he attacks him here with another fastball. It's going to be a pop-up in foul territory. Converging on it is the catcher Middleman and the first baseman Carrillo, and neither of them are able to make the play as it falls in between them, and Middleman is a little shaken off screen about it, a little angry with himself, but he'll be able to recover here in a sec as it's an 0-2 count now on the pitcher. Sorry, first baseman Leif Thorson. Thorson steps into the box now with that count. Ramirez checks the runner at second. Winds, fires. Check, swing, no swing. 1-2 count. So Middleman was able to block that and keep it in front. Ramirez checks the runner again at second. Winds and fires. Curveball popped up in foul territory again. Jesus Carrillo converging on it on foul territory fence and out of play. 1-2 count. Ooh, umpire's a southpaw as he fires that one over to the pitcher, Ramirez. Didn't notice that the last time, but we'll see what happens here with this next pitch coming in a sec. Everyone's ready now as the pitch is winded, fired, and a ground ball up the middle. Diving Kyle Tully isn't able to make the play. Runners coming in home, and he will score to give the Mines their first ever NCBA run. That's Mines' first ever NCBA run on the single up the middle, and it's a foul ball by the 5-hole Marty Gaffney, the second baseman. And Gaffney looks like a mountain man, just a long thread of hair and a nice little goatee. Honestly, that is a man's ball player right there. And another pitch fired in there. It's inside, runs inside on him. 0-2 count as Gaffney wasn't able to make contact on the two-seam that ran in on him. Ramirez fires up on Gaffney. It is 1-2 now on the second baseman and 5-hole hitter. Ramirez winds and fires outside, skipping away. Middleman fires over to second base, and the runner's going to be safe at second as it's skipped away. Middleman is having really just a little bit of a rough time right now. He's able to pick up the last few baseballs, and runners have been moving into scoring position. A little unfortunate, but it's easily fixable and nothing to worry about for the Roadrunners, as their offense will be potent in the bottom of the inning, most likely. Ramirez winds and fires, and it skips past Middleman again, rolls all the way to the backstop. Thorson now advances to third as it's a 2-2 count. 3-2. I lost track, honestly. But either way, there are 2 strikes. I know that much. So we'll see what happens here to Gaffney. Ramirez gets set with the runner on third, winds and fires. And it's a ground ball right to the shortstop, Kyle Tully. He'll fly it over to first base for out number 3, ending the top of the first inning. The Hard Rockers get one on a single up the middle by Thorson, the 4-hole. Heading to the bottom of the first inning, Roadrunners up to bat. Welcome back to the bottom of the first inning between the Roadrunners and the Hard Rockers. Leading off for them is the shortstop, number 4, Kyle Tully. Kyle, in the first game of the season, went 1 for 2 with an error and a hard hit ball that I wouldn't say a hard hit actually. It was really just a bloop that turned into a triple. It was a nice piece of hitting by Tully. So we'll see what he can do here in the second inning. Here as we get underway, as the pitcher for the Hard Rockers is Redmond. Redmond winds and fires to Tully, and it is hard hit to the third baseman under his glove into left field for a hard hit single. Kyle Tully getting on base right where he left off in the first game. Now coming up is Elian Soto, who went 1 for 3 in game 1, with his one hit being a double that bounced to the wall in left field, as he put a charge into that one and just rocketed it out there. And Redmond winds and fires, and it's a bunt attempt that goes foul down the third baseline. Roadrunners like to do a lot of small ball and misdirection, trying to keep their opponents off of what they can do, which is weird because the team is also they can put some juice behind the ball for sure, but they like to play all aspects of the game with their hitting and running. Redmond checks Tully at first, winds, fires. And it's hit out in this right center field, and the right fielder is going to drop it. Tully rounds second, heads to third, and Soto gets into second base error by the right fielder Liberton. That's his second one on the day. And for game one, same thing happened to him. Scored right out of his glove. And could really learn to use two hands on that one, as all Little League outfielders are taught. It would save Liberton for sure on making these two costly errors. But that brings up the left fielder, Brendan DeWise, who game one went 1 for 1 with 2 walks, I believe. That's pretty much Brendan's MO, is getting hits and getting on base. Redmond winds and fires, and it's outside, ball one on the little lefty up to bat. Fielder's getting set as Redmond gets set on the mound. Fires, and it's a ground ball hit to the past the second baseman into right field. That's going to score Tolley and Soto as Liberton comes up firing and hit the cutoff first baseman. But that is a nice hard hit single by Brendan DeWise, his second hit of the day. After that nice single, that brings in both the runners for the Road Runners. That'll bring up the first baseman, Jesus Carrillo, as Redmond fires. That's low strike, fire into second base as DeWise was stealing, and he'll get in there. The throw went and sailed into center field, but DeWise isn't going to advance any further on that one. Second stolen base of the day for him, as he had one in game one. That'll put him in scoring position for Jesus Carrillo, who went 0 for 1 or 0 for 2, I believe, with 2 RBIs and a sac fly in game one, as he had some hard hit balls that just found fielders both times he put the ball in play, or all 3 times. I can't really remember. It was a good game. And Brendan DeWise is going to break early and get thrown out at third, as the pitcher just he wasn't really confused on that one, but it was a good attempt by DeWise as he tried to shake the confusion for the Hard Rockers, and that'll give them 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. And that'll put Redmond back in the full windup as he winds and fires, and that's going to be hit to the shortstop, who fields it and throws to first, but that it was a tricky call in my opinion. The field umpire called Carrillo out, but from up here it looked like he was safe by a couple feet. I'm not really one to argue with umpires, but that looked like a blown call to me. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Jacob Armbrust, with 2 outs now. Outside, ball 1 on the pitch from Redmond to Armbrust. Redmond gets set, gets a sign from his catcher, like doing a little misdirection as he is varying his times. Wines fires, and it's a foul tip into the glove of the catcher. 1-1 count now to Armbrust. Redmond gets set again, getting his signs from his catcher, gets one he likes, Wines fires. Fouled off out into the street by Armbrust as he pulled it down the third baseline out of play. That brings it to a 1-2 count now, here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. As Redmond gets set again. Getting his signs, winds, fires. It's a ground ball hit to the first baseman, Thorson, who will race over to the bag and get Armbrust by a step. That ends the bottom of the first inning as the Roadrunners are up now 2-1, heading to the top of the second against the Hard Rockers. And we're back here in the top of the second inning between the Roadrunners and the Hard Rockers. As we're getting started here, Ramirez ready to go as the 7-hole hitter. The left fielder, Braden Moore, is now up to bat, leading off the top of the second inning for the Hard Rockers. Ramirez winds and fires finally. A little early, premature on my part. Outside, ball one on the fastball. So he just barely missed outside on that one. 1-0 count. Ramirez gets set, ready to go again. Outside, 2-0 now. He really does like to get set and go at his own pace, which is rather quick. But nothing wrong with that is he winds and fires again. Swing and a miss. 2-1 count now, as he was just not looking for the heater. He was expecting something else, maybe that little curveball that Noah likes to drop in there every now and then. And winds again. And there's that curveball as it's hit out to center field. Isaiah Carrillo coming in. Can't see the ball as it falls directly in front of him. Single off the bat. I was about ready to say a single with one out, but that was the first hitter of the inning. So no outs, leadoff single for the Hard Rockers. And that'll bring up the catcher, A.J. Escamilla. Escamilla now hitting with the runner Moore on first. Moore gets his lead over there. Ramirez fires. Swung and a miss inside. Actually, the umpire calls it a foul tip as it just falls back into the glove of Middleman, the catcher. Ramirez gets set again, checks the runner at first, fires inside, and it's ball one. 1-1 count now on the hitter Escamilla. Ramirez fires again, swung on a miss. He's just working him inside on this one, and it's not really doing Escamilla any favors. It's a 1-2 count on him. Ramirez is just beating him inside on that fastball. Ramirez winds and fires again. It's outside, blocked by the catcher Middleman. Moore ain't going to advance on that one. 2-2 count now on the hitter Escamilla. It's a good day for baseball. Shadows aren't creeping out too much yet, as it's about 4:30 in the afternoon as Ramirez winds and fires. Outside, 3-2 count now on the hitter Escamilla. Ramirez winds, fires. Curveball. Low, ball four. It was a good pitch right there. I was not expecting Escamilla to lay off of that. But that'll put runners on first and second now with no outs. Ramirez's second walk of the ball game, but really no issues to avail of that so far. That'll bring up the right fielder, 9-hole hitter, Connor Liberton. Sorry, the pitcher, Tristan Redmond. My apologies. The 8-hole hitter. And the starting pitcher for the Hard Rockers. And that first pitch was ball low to Redmond. Ramirez checks his runners, fires. Foul ball out of play on Redmond as he was jammed up inside and just pokes it right behind on the first base side. Ramirez gets set again. Winds, fires. Curveball, swung on a miss. Strike 2. One-two count now on the hitter Redmond, whose bat doesn't really look to be that of regulation size, but swung on a miss. Strike 3 on the up and in fastball. That was good sequencing by the pitcher, Noel Ramirez, and that's the first out of the inning, as that brings up the 9-hole and right fielder Connor Liberton. Liberton actually is out of Colorado. The only one on the team out of Colorado for the Hard Rockers went to Arvada West. It's like 3 of our players. And he pokes out in the right field. It hits it actually to a fellow Arvada Westian, Jake Armbrust, who catches it for the second out of the inning. 2 quick outs now from Ramirez after letting the first 2 hitters of the inning on. They'll bring up the top of the order, the center fielder Hayden Durker. Durker struck out his first at bat on a curveball. And it was a good curveball, too, as it just floated right in there and he wasn't able to do much with it. Ramirez checks now, the runner more on second, fires. Foul ball out of play down the first base side of the field of play. Either way, 0-1 count now to Durker. Play is stopped as everyone's looking for baseballs, as a lot of these are heading into the street outside of the ballpark, and it's hard for players and fans alike to go out into the street and play in traffic and get them. I mean, as much as I joke that I like to go play in traffic, it's not something I'm trying to do at a baseball game, getting foul balls. Either way, 0-1 count now on the hitter, Durker. Ramirez getting his signs from the catcher Middleman, not finding one he likes, finally finds one he likes, gets set, fires. Fastball hit out of play right behind the backstop. 0-2 count now on Durker. Let's see what Ramirez goes to now with an 0-2 count. Ramirez gets set, fires. Curveball hit up the middle. Let's see what happens. And it's diving play under the glove of Kyle Tolley. Isaiah Carrillo comes up firing. It's going to be a close play, and Moore scores to tie the game at 2. A couple early runs for the Hard Rockers that are just finding the field up the middle and underneath the glove of the shortstop, Tolley. Tied again at 2 here in the top of the second inning. With runners now on first and second on the Durker single. And I'll bring up the 2-hole, the third baseman, Devin Odley. And he's going to poke that straight into right field on the first pitch. Armbrust catches it, comes up firing, throws it home, and no one's going to advance. Would have been a cool play at the plate. He would have been hosed by a mile on the throw from Armbrust, who just comes up with that cannon arm. Armbrust is normally a first baseman, but we got Jesus Carrillo this season as well, and those two will be splitting duties at first base and in the outfield in the corner spots, as they both got the arm and athletic ability for it. And that'll bring up the third baseman. Oh, my bad. The last hitter was the shortstop. This will be the third baseman, Garcia, who just hits it straight on the first pitch into left field. DeWise's coming in. Running in will make the play. 1 run scores here in the top of the second for the Hard Rockers, and that'll tie the game again at 2, heading in the bottom of the second inning against the Roadrunners. All right, heading to the bottom of the second inning for the Roadrunners. Up to bat is the third baseman, Elias Gonzalez. And here's the first pitch from Redmond. Outside, ball one. It was close. Gonzalez hitting, I gotta say, he wins the award for dirtiest pants every week. I don't think he's washed his pants once this season, but then again, neither have I. Here's the second pitch, and it's hard hit past the diving third baseman and past the shortstop into left field. Base hit for Gonzalez, his second one of the day, as he just rifled one in game one into left center, right center. Either way, it was a line drive in the outfield in game one. And he's getting started the same way here in game two. And they'll bring up Isaiah Carrillo, who was the game one starter and winner for the Roadrunners, as he just shut down the Hard Rockers offense through those 5 innings, as he only gave up 1 hit and a couple errors by the defense. But to no avail, the Roadrunners were able to mercy them in game one, as the pitcher Redmond picks off, but Gonzalez dives back safe. Here's the pitch. And a nice hit and run by the Roadrunners is on, as Gonzalez was up and running. And it was hit to the right fielder, Liberton, who just fires in the third baseman. I haven't seen much of Liberton's fielding ability, but he does seem to have an arm out there in right field for the Hard Rockers. So that might be an issue for the Roadrunners offense if they are to try and score from second base on a hit to right field. And that'll bring up the catcher Spencer Middleman, who put up a decent game one himself as he hit the ball hard. Oh, and a pickoff attempt. That's going to get past the shortstop off his glove, and that's going to score Gonzalez from second base, as he took a big lead off on that one and wasn't expecting a pickoff move by the pitcher Redmond, but neither was his shortstop apparently, as it bounced off his glove, allowing Gonzalez, who is fairly fast himself, to score from second base. And that'll give the Roadrunners 3-2 lead again, as Isaiah Carrillo advances to second. Still gives Middleman a runner in scoring position with an 0-0 count. Redmond checks, fires outside, ball one on the first pitch to the catcher Middleman. That was definitely an interesting play that didn't work out for the Hard Rockers, but worked out for the Roadrunners, which is good, I guess, for the home team here and the intern broadcasting for them. Fires, and it's a chopper hit to the shortstop, who fires to first base, and he'll get Middleman, but that advances Carrillo over to third base. 1 out now, as that'll bring up the pitcher Noel Ramirez here batting 9. That was a nice little execution play by Spencer Middleman. As Redmond gets set here, as Ramirez is ready to go. Ooh, and he'll wear that. Pitcher hitting the opposing pitcher. If this were a Major League Baseball game, that's something you don't want to do. That would cause some bad blood between the dugouts, and it just might here. We don't know, but I've never seen a fight break out in an NCBA game. Okay, that's a lie. I have seen almost a couple fights break out. But that is just on some rowdy players from the other teams. Redmond gets set now with runners on first and third as he fires, and it's Ramirez going on the steal, and there's not going to be any play on that. Redmond gets set again, fires, and it's going to skip away from the catcher, but no one's going to move up as Ramirez moved up the previous pitch. 2-0 count now for Kyle Tolley, the shortstop. And this Roadrunner potent offense might be starting to get to the pitcher Redmond here, as he's losing a little bit of control the last few pitches. Winds and fires. And it's going to be a line drive hit to the right fielder Liberton. And that's going to score 1 for sure, maybe 2. Ramirez is chugging, and he slides in. Even though the throw beat him, the catcher just couldn't hang on to it. 5-2 now for the Roadrunners offense, thanks to the Kyle Tolley single to right field. That'll bring up Elian Soto, who had a nice base hit his first time around. And Redmond will pick off, and Kyle Tolley just slides in underneath the tag, safe. Honestly, he looked to be out on that one, but it was a little close play. But he's safe nonetheless, thanks to the call from the field umpire. Redmond keeps checking, gets a sign he likes. Wines fires. Elian is going to foul it out into the street on Alameda here on the first base side. I'm surprised I was able to get my directions correct on this one. And another pickoff attempt, and that is going to be no avail as Tolley is upstanding safe on that one from Redmond. Redmond keeps checking Tolley over at first, and he fires to Soto, who pokes out on the right field. Liberton is losing it, and it's going to fall just foul. Liberton had a hard time seeing that with the sun in his eyes, as he just was able to get his hand up in front of his eyes, but it didn't look like he was going to get there if it landed fair. But it is a 0-2 count now for Elian Soto, as Redmond gets ready to deliver to the next pitch here in a sec. Redmond getting his signs, checking Tolley over at first. Might pick off here in a sec. We'll see. Actually winds and fires. It's going to be outside for a ball. So that was in the other batter's box. And it's going to be a really hard day if that's called a strike on anyone, if it's in the opposing batting box. But I have seen worse calls, so it could happen. Redmond winds fires, and it's going to be a strikeout and a pickoff attempt by the catcher. But either way, Soto is out for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Brendan DeWise, who had a nice 2-run single his own time in the bottom of the first inning. Redmond checks Tolley, winds, fires. It's a pop-up in the infield. Going to be caught by the third baseman, Garcia. Oh, I was lost. That was 3 outs, apparently. That's on me. That was out number 3 for the Roadrunners. Either way, they'll be heading into the top of the third inning up 5-2 against the Hard Rockers. Back here in the top of the third inning, and they'll Leading off for the Hard Rockers is going to be the first baseman, Leif Thorson. As Ramirez winds and fires, it's going to be strike one on the swing and miss fastball. Down, and Thorson tried to golf at it, but wasn't able to do anything on it. 0-1 count now here in the top of the third to the leadoff hitter for the Ore Diggers. Ramirez gets set, winds, and fires again. It's going to be a pop-up right into the middle of the infield. Carrillo charging in from first, and he's going to make the play right near the pitcher's mound for the first out of the inning. As Thorson got under that one and wasn't able to do anything really with it. A lot of the hitters for the Ore Diggers are just having a tough time getting the depth of playing on Ramirez's pitches. He winds and fires to Gaffney, the number 2 hitter, and it's going to be a strike on the outside corner. His fastball and curveball just really are on the same plane for the most part. They just tumble in there. And Ramirez is all about that quick pitch and winds and fires again. And it's going to be strike 2 on the swing and miss on the fastball up and in. My guess is he's going to come here with a curveball and see what happens. Ramirez winds, deals, and actually, no, it's a fastball hit up the middle to the shortstop, Tolley, who's going to get rid of it quickly for the second out of the inning. 2 quick outs off the pitches for Ramirez brings up the left fielder, Braden Moore, who last time walked in his first plate appearance. And he's just trying to break up Ramirez's tempo of quick pitches as he takes a couple practice hacks. But Ramirez is ready to go. And it's going to be hit out to left field on the first pitch. Brendan DeWise didn't really get a good read on it. But it's going to be caught by the shortstop, Kyle Tolley, who made a spectacular diving play. Holy cow, that was insane. 3 quick outs from Ramirez sends the Roadrunners to the bats in the bottom of the third. Up 5-2. Heading to the bottom of the third inning, Roadrunners up to bat. It'll be the first baseman, Jesus Carrillo, leading off against the South Dakota School of Mines pitcher, Redmond. Little delay right now. Don't know what's going on, but everyone's finally getting set. Redmond getting his signs. Winds, fires, and a new arm angle for him as that's outside, and he's showing some visual disprovement of the home plate umpire strike zone. Gets set again. Wines fires from that sidearm, and it's going to run inside for a 2-0 count. Redmond is looking a little angry on the mound, and it's not really good to pitch with emotion, at least anger. Coming from my experience, that has never done any pitcher any justice. But it winds and fires again. It's going to be hit to the shortstop, who winds it and fires off to first. Second time that Jesus Carrillo has grounded out to the shortstop, Olay. Quick out, number 1 for the Hard Rockers, as that will bring up the right fielder and club president for the Roadrunners, Jacob Armbrust. Mr. Presidente is putting on a decent day so far as Redmond fires, and he's going to swing over the top of that one. 0-1 count. Not something you want to show your constituents on that swing, Mr. President, but we'll see what happens. If he can drive it anywhere. It's going to be outside on the next pitch, just barely missing. 1-1 count now to Armbrust. Redmond fires again from that sidearm angle, and that runs inside. It's a 2-1 count now on that, as Redmond wasn't doing this arm angle the previous innings, but looks to be just to deal with arm fatigue, and so he might be experiencing that. It's going to be outside, 3-1 count. Let's see what happens here in a sec as Redmond gets set with Armbrust, the count being in his favor. And it's going to be hit, popped up into that little Bermuda Triangle, and Odley is going to get over there. 2 outs for the Orediggers. Sorry, not Orediggers, Hard Rockers. I'm mixing up the mine schools. Orediggers is Colorado School of Mines. Hard Rockers is South Dakota. But either way, both outs this inning have been made by the shortstop Odley. And that'll bring up Elias Gonzalez, the third baseman for the Roadrunners. Gonzalez had a nice hit his first at-bat as Redmond winds fires. It's going to be a low strike called. It got the plate, might have gotten the actual strike zone, but either way, it's a strike as called by the home plate umpire, who has had really just a low and outside, low zone today. It's going to be a second strike in that same spot. Yep, he's living low with that zone right now. Might be something that Noel has to adjust for the Roadrunners. But so far, he's pitching really well in comparison, even with that low zone. Redmond gets set, fires, and it's going to be fouled straight to the backstop as that one ran up as the previous 2 pitches were down. But either way, that changes the eye level for Gonzalez, so he'll be all over the place really with this next pitch. My supervisor is drawing some neat little pictures, and that is the second hit batter on the inside pitch from Gonzalez. And the pitcher, Redmond, he looks really, shaken up with it, or just not pleased with what's happening. But either way, he's showing some discomfort on the mound with what's happening from himself. As Gonzalez makes another early break, and he'll slide in there safe into second. That is pretty much what him and Brendan DeWise are known for, is that early jumps into stealing. And that'll give Isaiah Carrillo, the center fielder, a runner in scoring position as Redmond checks Gonzalez at second and winds fires. And it's going to be popped up here in the infield. A first baseman, Thorson, coming in, and it's going to fall foul. Not a lot you could do on that one. I can't really give way to the runner as he is in the baseline. If he runs anywhere outside that baseline, that is interference call. But either way, it would have been interference if they would have collided, and Carrillo probably would have gotten the base or the out. That's really hard to say, but not a lot can be done on that one, even with the runner's base path being clearly marked. Second baseman running over, trying to get Redmond to pick off, but here's the pitch, and that runs inside for ball one. 1-1 count now to Isaiah Carrillo, the center fielder. Another early break, but to no avail as it was just a fake out by Gonzalez. This reminds me of days of old, my first year on the team when we had center fielder Austin Roybal, who was known for that and would slide back on those fake outs. That's a swing and a miss as it was top of the zone and just lit up Isaiah's eyes like a couple of saucers. But he swung through and missed, and it is a 1-2 count now from Redmond as he gets set. Checks Gonzalez again, and that's going to skip into the catcher who blocks it, not allowing Gonzalez to advance. 2-2 count now, 2 outs. As we would say growing up, that is deuces all around the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second. Quadruple twos. Winds and fires, and it is strike 3. Third out of the inning. We get a runner on second here for the Runners, but can't do anything with it. And in the top of the 4th, up 5-2 against the Hard Rockers. Heading to the top of the 4th inning, leading off for the Hard Rockers is going to be the catcher, A.J. Escamilla, as Ramirez winds and fires. It's going to be outside, up and away. Ball 1 to him. It was a quick bottom of the 3rd inning for the Hard Rockers defense as they got quick 3 outs, and that's just curveball hit down the third base line past the third baseman Gonzalez, DeWise has got to fire into second. And it's not even going to be close as the catcher Escamilla is tagged out. Brandon DeWise, who has told me before his arm is shot, just rocketed that in there into second base, and Escamilla was thrown out by a mile. I'm not going to believe a word that comes out of DeWise's mouth from now on when he says anything about his arm hurting, as that was just a rocket as he got that in there. And the next batter is going to be the pitcher, Redmond, and that first pitch is going to be ball 1. But that was a great play by DeWise and Soto as they were able to get him at second base. And the next pitch is going to be hit out to right field. Armbrust isn't going to have to move much as it's hit right to him. Quick 2 outs for the Roadrunners defense, as Noel Ramirez has seemed to settle down after those early 2 runs in the 1st and 2nd inning, as he is just making his way the last few down the lineup, and that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, the right fielder, Connor Liberton. Ramirez gets set, fires. It's going to be outside, and catches the corner, strike 1. The umpire really is liking it low, but that was just right on the outside corner, I guess, even if it was up. And Ramirez gets set, readies again. It's going to be swung and misses. This time he goes inside on that two seam. He's really just changing east and west on Liberton. Let's see what he does now, if he'll go north or south on him. Ramirez really is just finding all those different angles of the plate, which is what he is known for. As he winds and fires, and that's going to be just outside. That really was just a little bit further out than the first pitch to Liberton. 1-2 count now, as this will be maybe Noel's eighth pitch of the inning as he fires. And it's going to be hit up the middle to the shortstop, Kyle Tolley, who is going to get rid of it quickly over to first base, and that is out number 3. Heading to the bottom of the fourth inning. Roadrunners 5, Hard Rockers 2. Heading to the bottom of the fourth inning for the Roadrunners, it's going to be Spencer Middleman leading off for the Roadrunners against Redmond, the Hard Rocker. Still on the mound as he is settled in himself this game. Redmond getting his signs, shaking off. Wines fires. It's going to be foul ball into the street or just over onto the first base side in foul territory. Might have made its way to the street. A little hard to tell, but either way, it's a foul ball. 1-1 count, I believe, on the catcher, Middleman. Redmond winds fires, and it's going to be a nice little inside curveball that he pieces and almost hits the third base coach and manager, Travis Cook, as he got his right leg up just in time. But either way, that was hard hit over there by Middleman as he turned around on that inside curveball from Redmond. But to no avail, it was still a foul ball. Redmond still getting his signs. Gets set, fires. And it's going to be hit into left field. A nice little line drive single off the bat of Spencer Middleman. And that'll bring up the pitcher here with no outs, Noel Ramirez. Noel's first time he was hit. It was a little pitcher-on-pitcher crime right there. Again, something you never want to do is hit the opposing pitcher because that will send out some bad blood. If this were like any sort of affiliated ball or we were in like a college summer league, there would probably be some repercussions coming against Redmond if he were hitting. He gets set, though, checks Middleman over at first, and it's going to be a nice little hit over to the third baseman. But he catches it on the line and throws Middleman out at first. Rather unfortunate double play, as you were taught to freeze on a line drive. But there will be a couple of that today from both sides. 2 quick outs on that double play from the Hard Rockers. And they'll bring up the top of the order in Kyle Tolley. Tolley gets a pitch he wants, and he's going to hit that into center field, and that's going to fall for a single in front of the center fielder. First pitch swinging, first pitch hitting for Kyle Tolley, and that'll bring up the second baseman, number 0, Elian Soto. Elian Soto so far is 0 for 2 today, but that can change here in a heartbeat, as he'll look to pick up a base hit against Redmond and the Hard Rockers. Redmond checks over at first, lines fires, and it's going to be hit foul. Play made by the third base coach, Travis Cook. Sign him up, give him the gold glove. We ain't never going to see a third base coach making plays like that ever again. For the Roadrunners, at least. 0-1 count now. Redmond gets set, fires. And it's going to be hit out in the left field. Left fielder gets a bad break on it, but is going to catch it. He originally went in on the ball, but had to go back. And Moore is a big guy himself, but makes the play. 3 outs for the Hard Rockers heading into the top of the 5th against the Roadrunners. All right, our camera battery is dying, so we're going to swap it out real quick. We'll be right back here on the broadcast of the Roadrunners versus the Hard Rockers. Heading here until the top of the 5th inning between the Hard Rockers and the Roadrunners. It will be the leadoff hitter and center fielder Hayden Durker for the Hard Rockers. As Ramirez gets set, fires. Outside, ball 1 to Durker. It was a quick bottom of the 4th inning for the Roadrunners, as they were able to get a couple runners on, but couldn't do anything with it. So next pitch is going to be fouled off on the third base side out behind the backstop. 1-1 count now to Durker from Noel Ramirez. Yep, Roadrunners were able to get a couple people on, but couldn't do anything with it after a double play that jammed them up. And the next pitch is going to be hit foul again out of play down the first base side this time. 1-2 count now from Ramirez to Durker. Yep, Spencer Middleman was able to hit a leadoff single for the Roadrunners, but got doubled up on a line drive hit to the shortstop, so he couldn't get back in time to the base. And then Kyle Tolley got on, but didn't advance any further. And that is strike 3, as Durker is tagged out. That pitch was just kept tumbling down, and Durker couldn't do anything as it fell in front of the plate. 1 out now. And I'll bring up the 2-hole, the shortstop, Devin Odley. Odley has made some plays of his own today as the ball's been finding him a lot. And the first pitch is a curveball that misses up. Up or out. Hard to tell from the angle I'm at, but either way, it is ball 1 to the shortstop, Odley. Ramirez gets his sign, gets set, and fires. That's going to be strike. Nope. Ball low. That was a little premature call on my end, but the home plate umpire has been calling him that low all day. But it happens from time to time. 2-0 count now as he fires again. It's going to be popped up out of play down the third base side, out of play. 2-1 count now. Looks like the home plate umpire is letting the both dugouts know that he is out of baseballs. Yep, as one is fired in now, and Middleman corrals it, but it gets past him into the arms of the umpire. Ramirez gets his sign. It's set, fires. It's going to be a ground ball hit to the third baseman on a candy hop to Gonzalez, who fires to first base. It's a good thing Jesus Carrillo is tall because he had to stretch a little bit for that one. Either way, out number 1 on that one. And now I'll bring up the third baseman, Isaiah Garcia, who he's made some plays as well this game. Let's see what he does. Oh, and actually, he's one of the few people on this team using a wood bat. And that first pitch curveball is in there for a strike. Noah Ramirez really just has that good breaker on him. He's been mixing them up and dealing all day with that in his fastball combinations. The next pitch is going to run in and hit the third baseman, Garcia. Runner on first now, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Lee Thorson. So 1 out now, and the big first baseman coming up to bat. The Roadrunners will look to induce a double play ball of some sort to get out of the inning and have no damage done. Roadrunners playing straight up. Normally you want to play double play depth, but the first pitch is going to be off the end of the bat, fouled back to the backstop. He swung, got the ball off the end of the barrel on that one. Big guy with a long arm span, but still he just nicked it off the top of the bat. Something you don't see every day with someone that tall. But the next pitch is going to be fired, just missing outside, ball 1. 1-1 count now to the first baseman, Thorson. Ramirez gets set again, fires. It's going to be hit out to left field. He put a charge into that one. DeWise runs back and makes the play. That's out number 3. So Roadrunners headed into the bottom of the 5th inning, up 5-2 against the Hard Rockers. Hey, in the bottom of the fifth inning here, leading off for the Roadrunners is going to be the left fielder Brendan DeWise, who ended the top of the fifth with a nice running grab. The first pitch from Redmond is going to run inside to DeWise. Yep, the last out made by Leif Thorson, the first baseman for the Hard Rockers, he put a charge into that one, but DeWise got a good jump on it and was able to get there to record the third out. And this next pitch from Redmond is going to run into the other batter's box. So 2-0 count now for the hitter DeWise, as he looks to get on base any way possible, which is what he is. He is just a grinder and a gamer, and he'll get on any way he can. Which he just did on the hit by pitch, on what looked like his hand or his jersey, but either way, that is the third batter hit by the Hard Rocker pitcher Redmond. But they'll give the Roadrunners an early runner here, as they'll bring up the first baseman, Jesus Carrillo, who's looking to get on base and put a charge into this one. Or just advance the runner in any way he can. Redmond checking DeWise over at first, getting set, getting his sign, fires. And it's going to be a hard hit to the shortstop, who's got fired over a second and get the out there. Throws it to the second baseman, Gaffney, who hustled over and got DeWise out. But they'll trade spots, I guess, as Jesus Carrillo's now on first and DeWise heading back to the dugout. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Armbrust, who not naturally a right fielder. He's growing to the position, making some plays today. Looking natural out there in right. As Redmond fires, it's going to be a called strike on the inside corner as Jesus Carrillo slides into second base with the stolen base. Not really a good reaction pop time by the catcher, A.J. Escamilla, for the Hard Rockers, as Jesus Carrillo just uses his long, lanky legs to get into second base. With an 0-1 count now for Jacob Armbrust in a runner in scoring position. Redmond winds fires. It's going to be a called strike on the outside corner, as Redmond's now also working east to west on Armbrust. He's now fired one on the inside corner and now the outside corner for the 0-2 count. Redmond gets set again. Winds, deals, outside on the breaking pitch in the other batter's box. 1-2 count now for the Roadrunners batter. Redmond getting set. Checking Carrillo over at second base. Winds, fires. It's going to run inside as Armbrust backs off the plate. Now 2-2 count on that one. He could have won it and gotten on base and given Elias Gonzalez a couple runners on, but we'll see what happens here in a sec if he will have a couple runners on. Redmond winds, fires. That's going to be a hit right into the right field past the diving first baseman. Jesus Carrillo's going to get the wave around from third. It's going to be fired in. Thorson's not going to get him at the plate, as the first baseman there cut it off and fired into the catcher a little too late, but that'll give the Roadrunners now their sixth run of the ball game. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Elias Gonzalez. Nice little single for Armbrust to drive in Carrillo from second. As Redmond checks him at first. Winds, fires. It's going to charge it into center field over the head of the center fielder, Durker. Rolls all the way to the wall. Armbrust is going to score from first. Gonzalez is being waved around third, and it's going to be an inside the park home run for Elias Gonzalez as he put a charge into that one. Holy cow. Right over the center fielder's head. He didn't expect any of that to happen. 8-2 now for the Roadrunners on that one. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Isaiah Carrillo, for him. That was a nice hit by Gonzalez. And the first pitch to Carrillo from Redmond is ball one in the opposing batter's box. Next pitch, going to be outside again. Ball two. 2-0 count now from Redmond to Isaiah Carrillo, the Roadrunners hitter. Gets set, fires, and Carrillo watches strike one right down the middle. 2-1 count now. If it were me up there, I probably would have taken a hack. But then again, I'm a pitcher, and I really just swing at anything close to the close to the plate. Next pitch is going to be hit up the middle. Odley gets over there and throws out Carrillo. That looked to it like it was going to be heading into center field for a single, but Devin Odley, the Hard Rocker shortstop, gets over there up the middle and throws him out. For the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Spencer Millman, the catcher, who got on base last time with a nice line drive single in the left field. I'll give the Roadrunners 2 outs as Middleman calls time. Really, he wants to be at his pace and not anyone else's. Redmond gets set, fires, and it's going to be a foul ball straight to the backstop. He was on top of it, just not on time of it. If he were just a little earlier, that probably would have headed straight into center field for a line drive. But instead, straight to the backstop, 0-1 count. Redmond gets set, deals, and it is hit into center field. That is going to be a line drive single for Middleman. He was waiting on that breaking pitch, whether it's a curveball or a slider, but either way, he pokes into center field for the 2-out single. That'll bring up the pitcher, Noel Ramirez. Noel is 0 for 1 or 0 for 0 with getting on base twice. The Roadrunner offense is just really all blended together. It's really hard to tell right now who is what for what. But either way, Ramirez is up to bat, and the first pitch is going to fall in there on the inside portion of the plate, strike one. It was middle in fastball that Ramirez watched, and Redmond's now checking Middleman at first. Wines fires and swing and a miss on the breaking pitch that just sweeped out of the zone. 0-2 count now for Noel Ramirez at the plate. Redmond got a sign, checking Middleman at first, fires up and away. Ball one to Noel Ramirez. 1-2 count now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Roadrunners up 8-2. Redmond sets, fires. It's going to be poked out to the shortstop, and he'll catch it in the air for the 3rd out. Heading to the top of the 6th inning, Roadrunners get a couple more runs, 3 more runs, highlighted by the inside the park 2-run home run by Elias Gonzalez. Some defensive changes for the Roadrunners here, heading here into the top of the 6th inning. The center fielder Isaiah Carrillo is going to come out of the ball game, and number 6 Marcus Gickert is going to head into right field with Jacob Armbrust heading over to first base and Jesus Carrillo heading to center field. It's the first pitch from Noel Ramirez to Gaffney. Is going to be outside, ball 1. Ramirez fires, and that is going to catch the outside corner. Low for strike 1. 1-1 count now on the second baseman Gaffney, and Ramirez winds, fires. It's going to be a looping curveball that is fouled off out of play on the first base side onto Alameda Avenue. Or street or drive. I don't know. Either way, it's Alameda. Either way. Not really familiar with this area of Lakewood or Colorado in general, but we'll see. Next pitch is going to be ball 2. 2-2 count now to the second baseman Gaffney. I was talking earlier about the deuce is wild, and they seem to be now. So next pitch is going to be a big looping curveball that Gaffney barely fouls off. Still 2-2 to the second baseman. No outs, though. Ramirez gets a sign after shaking off Middleman, but fires. That's going to fall low, bouncing to the plate for ball 3. 3-2 count now. From Ramirez to the second baseman, Batten Gaffney. He winds, fires. And that's going to be chopped out to the third baseman, Gonzalez, who's going to get out of his glove in time for the out. A big stretch by the new first baseman, Jacob Armbrust. His natural position is he is feeling good on that one. That was a nice play by Gonzalez and Armbrust. It took him a second to get out of his glove, but he fired it over there, and Armbrust made that big stretch. All 5'11", 6-foot frame stretching over there at first base to get the out. And that'll bring the left fielder, Braden Moore. And the first pitch to Moore is going to be a curveball that ends up high. Didn't break enough, but is still. Next pitch is going to be hit into center field. Getting over there is going to be Jesus Carrillo, and the ball just gets past him on the dive. Gickert is going to fire it into second base on the double from Braden Moore. And that'll bring up the catcher, A.J. Escamilla, for the Hard Rockers. First pitch swinging from Braden Moore. Nets him a double as Jesus Carrillo gave it all his effort out there to try and make the play, but to no avail. Gives the Hard Rockers a runner on second here in the top of the 6th. Ramirez checks the runner more at second, fires in. It's going to be a curveball that catches the inside corner for strike 1. That big breaker from Noel Ramirez is just really an underrated pitch from him, but it's working with his fastball and the playing of movement for both. Winds and fires again. It's going to be popped up out of play, foul down the first base line. Quick 0-2 count to the catcher, A.J. Escamilla. Even with runners on, Noel Ramirez still likes to work quick. Quick as possible without getting a balk. Which a balk, if anyone is new to baseball, is really just a pitcher error that allows anyone to advance. And the next pitch is going to be fouled out, played down the first baseline again. Out of play. Still an 0-2 count to the catcher, A.J. Escamilla. Ramirez still checking his signs, checking the runner more at second. Winds, fires. That is going to fall for ball 1? Ball 1? I believe so, ball 1. But it was a good pitch nonetheless. Good break on it. 1-2 count now to the catcher. Ramirez winds, fires again. It is going to be strike 3 on the outside corner. Little late, delayed strike 3 call by the home plate umpire, but either way, it is still the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the pitcher still, Tristan Redmond. With 2 outs now and a runner on second, let's see what Ramirez does to get out of this without giving up any harm. And the first pitch is going to be popped up. It's going to be playable and caught by the first baseman, Jacob Armbrust. 3 outs despite the double from Braden Moore. Roadrunners heading to the bottom of the 6th inning up against the Hard Rockers 8-2. Heading into the bottom of the 6th inning between the Roadrunners and the Hard Rockers, some defensive changes as a new pitcher has come on for the Hard Rockers, and it's going to be the former left fielder Braden Moore, as him and Tristan Redmond are just going to switch. Redmond is now in left. Moore is pitching, and leading off the bottom of the 6th inning is going to be the shortstop, number 4, Kyle Tolley, for the Roadrunners, as they're up 8-2 against the Hard Rockers. Trying to fill words with time as Moore gets set. Moore fires, and it is strike 1 right down the middle to Kyle Tolley. Moore getting set again, fires. Outside corner, 0-2 count now, quick to Kyle Tolley. Moore is really just a change of pace for this Roadrunners offense, as that next pitch is going to be lined into center field. He tried to speed up his hands with that off-speed curveball or slider. It's hard to tell with the breakup here, but either way, nice line drive single to center field for Kyle Tolley.
My supervisors just informed me I was trying to fill words with time. That is correct. I opened up the mic a little too early before Moore was ready, but either way, he's checking now totally over at first. Getting set. Checking, firing. And that is going to be up. Ball one to Elian Soto, the second baseman. You really don't see a lot of lineups nowadays where the 1-2 hole are going to be double play partners, but that's something that just rolls with this Roadrunners offense. Is the next pitch is going to be a called strike as it hits the bottom of the zone. 1-1 count now to Elian Soto. Elian is 0 for this game after putting up one hit in the first game. Let's hope he can break out of this funk in this one and just put a charge into a ball and hit it somewhere. And a pickoff attempt. That gets past the first baseman, Thorson, and it's going to allow Tully, who really isn't that quick, to advance over to second base. Normally, a picture shortstop's being somewhat quick, but Kyle Tully, he's really just linking body, and it takes a while to get the horses starting. But either way, he's at second base now with no outs. Moore's checking, Gaffney covering, but swung and a miss up. Another strike. 1-2 count now to Elian Soto. Field umpire who's having to battle in the sun and the shade. If the ball's hit anywhere towards him, I don't know if he's going to be able to react in time to get out of the way. Moore checks again. Foul ball straight to the backstop off the bat of Soto. Still a 1-2 count. Soto still looks to drive the ball and do some damage and get the Roadrunners some even more runs. 4 more runs, and the Roadrunners are in the mercy win against the Hard Rockers. Moore still checking Tully over at second. Fires. And that's going to get behind him past the catcher and allow Tully to advance up to third. That, if he just was stuck out his butt a little bit, that could have been hit by pitch, but instead it gets behind him, and ball 2 to Elian Soto. And that advances Kyle Tully even more over to third base now. So runner still in scoring position for Elian. And Moore gets ready, fires, and that is going to be ball 3 now. 3-2 count now to Soto. If there were 2 outs and bases loaded, that means Kyle Tully would get the green light to start running as soon as Moore fired. But instead, no outs. Runner on third, and ball 4. Runners on the corners now for the Roadrunners as Brendan DeWise is going to come up to bat and hopefully drive in some runs for the Roadrunners offense. Little pause going on as DeWise hasn't stepped into the box. He's still waiting, getting his signs from the third base coach, Travis Cook. It is first year coaching as the head coach position for Travis Cook, and Adam Harris his first year as well. As Soto is going to get to second base, and Tully is going to score as Soto broke early trying to get in a pickle, and honestly it just worked as Moore held onto it before firing off to second base. And that allowed Kyle Tully to come in and score as Moore waited just a little too long on that one. So no outs were recorded on that one, and the first pitch now to Brendan DeWise. Ball away and up. Ball 1. So runner on second now after that nice base run-in, miscommunication, misdirection by the Roadrunners. Still no outs. Moore checking Soto at second. And ball skips away from the catcher, Escamilla. That's going to allow him to advance to third. And he's going to keep going. Nope, he's actually going to hold up at third. He rounded third pretty hard, but he's going to stay over there, as Moore wasn't too quick off the mound to go cover home plate. And Escamilla was just kind of lollygagging back to the ball, but that happens on days like this. Moore gets set again, winds, fires, and that's going to catch the inside corner for strike 1. 2-1 count now to Brendan DeWise with the runner Soto on third. Moore getting his sign, ready, fires. Ball 3 away. 3-1 count now to Brendan DeWise. Moore shaking off, getting the sign he likes finally. Ames, fires. And it's gonna be a chopper to the second baseman who lost it in the sun. And it's gonna allow Brendan DeWise, who really is just a grinder, to get over to first base and allow Soto to score, making the score 10-2 for the Roadrunners. It was a chopper off the plate from DeWise. A nice base hit for him. I guess these Mines players should invest in some sunglasses if they're dealing with the shadows right now. It's an issue, but he might have been out at first. Might have been a missed call by the field umpire, but either way, runner on now. First, still no out. More checking. Fires. Outside, ball 1. 10-2 now for the Roadrunners in the bottom of the 6th inning against the South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rockers. 1-0 count to Jesus Carrillo, the center fielder. More fires. It's going to be poked out to the shortstop, caught on the line. And DeWise is going to get doubled off at first. 2 outs, 2 quick outs on that one, as it looked to be a hit and run play that didn't really work out for the Roadrunners, but that happens now and then. So that line out double play will bring out the first baseman, Jacob Armbrust, with runners now off the bag. And Moore gets from the full windup, fires. It's going to skip past the catcher, ball 1. 1-0 count now for Jacob Armbrust. Armbrust has put some good contact onto the ball today. Gotten a couple hits, drove in some runs. As the next pitch is going to be line drive into center field for a single. Off the bat of Jacob Armbrust. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Elias Gonzalez, who his last at bat rifled one to center field for an inside the park 2-run home run. If he were 21, he'd be buying drinks for the rest of us. I tend to simulate this like golf. If you hit a home run, it's basically like a hole-in-one play. The guy who hits it buys the round of drinks. But it's going to be a couple years before Gonzalez is 21, and the first pitch is going to be fouled down the third base side. 0-1 count now to Elias Gonzalez. But such is life, that we can't experience that magical moment of him buying the whole team drinks, but that's okay. We won't want to get in trouble with an underage kid buying drinks for all the older guys. It wouldn't make sense, really, but next pitch is going to be a curveball that falls into the top of the zone. 0-2 count now to Gonzalez with the runner Armbrust at first base. Moore getting his signs from the catcher, Escamilla. Checking Armbrust over at first. Fires. It's going to end up outside. Ball 1 now. 1-2 count for Elias Gonzalez as he looks to battle now, or keep battling, to get the count in his favor, or a pitch he likes. Moore still checking Armbrust over at first. Fires. Foul ball straight back over the backstop. 1-2 count still. Don't know where that landed. Might have landed in the ballpark still, but it might be in traffic. Hopefully no one was turning on to Harlan on that one. If so, they'll probably need a new windshield. Which, if anyone knows, if they're driving past the ballpark, we don't have to pay for. Such is the liberties of life. The uncontrollables. Moore checking Armbrust at first, still fires, and it's going to skip over Elias Gonzalez's head to the backstop and bring Jacob Armbrust over to second base. 2-2 count. 2 outs. Runner on second. 10-2. Filling words with time until Everyone gets set, ready to go. Don't know what to say, don't know what to do, but more still checking, getting signs. Checking armbrust now over at second. Wines fires. That's going to be strike 3, even though it bounced in the other batter's box. Don't know what the home plate umpire saw on that one, but strike 3 to end the inning. Runners heading to the top of the 7th, up 10-2. Top of the 7th inning now as Ramirez fires to the 9-hole Connor Liberton, and that first pitch was a strike down at the bottom of the zone. Ramirez gets set again, fires. That is just outside, ball 1. Pretty much the same spot as the last one, but 1-1 count now to the right fielder for the Hard Rockers, Connor Liberton. Ramirez winds and fires again. That is poked out to the third baseman, Gonzalez, who's going to fire over to first base to Jacob Armbrust to get the first out of the inning. 1 out here in the top of the 7th with the Roadrunners being the home team, so 2 more quick outs and the Roadrunners advance to tomorrow morning against the Hard Rockers for the final game of the series. Next weekend, actually, these 2 teams will be playing each other again, but this time in South Dakota, as Metro State was the home team, but will be away next weekend. First pitch to the center fielder, Hayden Durker, is a curveball swung on and missed for strike 1. That curveball just fell into the bottom of the zone, and it is a good curveball nonetheless, as the next pitch is fired. Again, another curveball that just falls into the zone. Quick 0-2 count against the center fielder, Durker. But as I was saying, they will be playing each other again next weekend, but this time in South Dakota instead of Colorado. And this one is poked. It's going to be a tough play for Gonzalez, who's going to not be able to throw out Durker, as that one was just chopped off the plate. Noel Ramirez could have made the play. Pitcher's fielding position, you don't really say that a lot, but it is possible. But Ramirez just let his third baseman try and field it. Runner on first now with 1 out here for the Roadrunners pitching to the Hard Rockers. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Devin Odley. And the first pitch is going to be high for ball 1. 1-0 count now to the shortstop, Odley, with Durker on. And it's going to be a pickoff move to first base from Ramirez, and Durker slides back in safely. Ramirez gets set, winds, fires. Curveball that's going to skip past the catcher middleman and allow the runner, Durker, to move up to second base. 1-0 count now on that one, as the curveball just wasn't able to be handled by the catcher middleman. As the shadows are starting to set, the home plate umpire takes off his sunglasses and sets them in the netting of the backstop. 1-0 count now to the batter Odley. Ramirez checks the runner Durker at second. It's going to be outside, ball 2. 2-0 count to the batter Odley. Durker getting his lead off second. Ramirez checking him. Wines fires. Curveball in there for strike 1. 2-1 count now for Ramirez on the mound. 2 more outs to go, and the Roadrunners are advancing tomorrow morning as Ramirez fires again. It's going to be a ball. Oh, ball 4, actually. All this announcing, I'm not really keeping track of what the count is, but that's my fault. That's going to be ball 4, and time's going to be called as the Roadrunner manager Travis Cook is going to come out to talk to his pitcher, Noel Ramirez. And don't know what's going to happen. Let's see if he allows him to finish. Yep, it's just going to be a quick resurgence of faith, allowing Ramirez to just really saying, hey, you got this. You've done it all game. Settle down. Go get those final 2 outs. You can do this. That's really all a manager needs to do in situations like this. The complete game on the line, you just want to go out and tell your pitcher, hey, I have confidence in you to get these final 2 outs. And hopefully that will give Ramirez the resurgence that he needs as he checks runners on first, second, now fires. It's going to be strike 1. First manager visit of the year results in a post-visit 100% strike rate. When I was coaching a few summers ago, we actually liked to keep that as a stat. It was pretty fun, but the next pitch is going to be poked into center field on the line, caught by Jesus Carrillo. Second pitch swinging on that from the third baseman Isaiah Garcia. But Jesus Carrillo didn't really have to move that far for the second out. And that'll bring up the first baseman Lee Thorson. Two outs now in the top of the 7th inning for the Roadrunners and the Hard Rockers. Ramirez checks the runner at second base again, and it's going to be poked out to him at first base. He just has to throw it over to first. Game. Roadrunners win 10-2. Tomorrow morning will be the finale of the series as Roadrunners look to take the sweep against the South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rockers. Thanks for coming out and listening, everyone. We will have this uploaded later on. Thanks again.